Hello and welcome to Zone 2 Orientation Meet and Greet. This is the recording of the meet and greet. Once you've completed the recording, you are still going to need to attend a live meet and greet with me, your teacher. These are either on Tuesday at 9 a.m. or Thursday at 7 p.m. So pick the one that you can attend. The instructions for attending these two live sessions are on the front page of your orientation course in Canvas. So you can look at that, and I hope to be seeing you soon in one of those. So the goal for this presentation is I'm going to be telling you a little bit about what's going to be happening after you complete your orientation. I'm going to be going over some program expectations and requirements, and I'm going to talk about some important social media connections that you can be part of. As an online student, it's going to be up to you to decide when you're going to be studying each week. I do recommend that you get out either a paper calendar or the calendar on your phone and pencil in the things. Maybe you already have that done, but if you don't, pencil in your work schedule, your home responsibilities, the different things you do throughout the week, and then look that over and decide when is the time best for you that you can study. Make sure that you pencil in studying time each week. The Department of Education in the state of Missouri requires that our students work online at least 5 hours per week. This is the minimum requirement, but you can do more than that if it works out for you. So pencil in at least 5 hours a week that you're going to commit to studying, if not more. And I realize that this schedule could change, maybe even from week to week. So take a look at your calendar every couple of days or once a week, and look to see what's ahead, look to see when you're going to be studying, and then really try to stick with that. As I said, you can study whenever it works out best with your schedule, whether that's 9 a.m. in the morning or 2 a.m. in the middle of the night. That's completely up to you to decide. As you're studying and you need help, send me an email. Whenever you have questions, send me an email. You can email me at any time, but I do have on this slide my work schedule so that you know when I'm going to be responding to your emails. My main work time is Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. I don't work on the weekends. I will sometimes check my email on the weekends and reply to something if it truly needs to be replied to before Monday, but in most cases I'll be replying to your emails Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. This is a slide that I would like you to copy. So if you have a phone that has a camera on it, just take a quick picture of it. If you don't, you can pause this recording and you can go ahead and copy this information on paper. I just want you to have this so in the event that something happens with your computer or you can't get into your email, you do have a way that you can contact me. You'll note that there's an office number listed there. That office number is really only to call, number one, if I ask you to call it for a particular reason, or number two, if you have no other way to get in touch with me. My main email is listed there. That's the primary way we're going to be communicating with one another. But I'm also going to give you a texting number that you can use in just a minute. Okay, here's that texting number I was telling you about. What's actually going to happen is when you follow the instructions on this slide, your phone will prompt you to download an app called Remind. This is a texting app that teachers and students can use with one another. It's 100% free, and if your phone has the ability to text, you should be able to do this. What I want you to do, if you need to pause this, that's fine, but I do want you to text the number 81010. The message you're going to send is @MoLearn. Notice there's no S at the end of that. And then you're going to click send. Once you send that, Remind will send you a message, and it will kind of go through how to download the Remind app and how to set it up. Once you have the Remind app set up, it's going to prompt you to put in your first and last name. Please use the first and last name that you used when you signed up for this course. Don't use, a nickname or anything like that, because I won't know who that is. And then we should be good to go. I use this, I wouldn't say a lot, but in the event that I can't get a hold of a student through email, I sometimes will text that student. Sometimes I send out announcements to all my students at once through this. Just note that if you reply to me in a text, it only will come to me. It won't go to all the other students that I'm sending information to. And you can also text me directly from this app also. This is another social media connection that you can be part of. If you already have a Facebook account, I encourage you to go to our Mo Learns Study Group page. It's spelled exactly like that, Mo Learns Study Group. You can find it in the search bar. You will have to ask to join this group. It's a closed group, meaning only the people on this page can see the information that's being posted here. This group is comprised only of Mo Learns students and Mo Learns teachers. And it's a nice little study tool, especially for students that study in the evenings or on the weekends. A lot of our students get on here and just chat amongst each other. They may post a math question and ask for help with that. Again, it's just a nice thing to be part of. But if you don't have a Facebook account, don't feel obligated to create one for this. I don't recommend that. It's really only for people that already have accounts and are familiar with the Facebook site. It's completely optional. Once you are completely done with orientation, so that means you've completed all your modules, you've done all your assignments, you've listened to this recording, and you've attended a live meet and greet with me on either Tuesday at 9 or Thursday at 7, then you will be ready for new assignments. When I send you assignments, it's going to look something like this. I will send you a weekly grouping of assignments to do. I do suggest that you complete these in 1 week. That will keep you up to date on those 5 hours a week that you need to do as directed by the Department of Education. So you'll get something like this. The wording at the top is always there. It says, please complete this next group of assignments within 1 week. As always, take notes and do all of your practice problems. Ask for help if you need it. What does that mean? One of the ways you can get help from me is you can copy and paste me problems that you're having help with. There's always going to be practice problems that you can work on any of the assignments I give you. So as you go through those practice problems, if you're having trouble, copy and paste them to me in an email. Ask for help. You can also get help on our Facebook page. You can get help from people in your home or friends, but make sure you're understanding the materials. And then it lists the different assignments that you need to do for that given week. For example, in this one, we have Introduction to Fractions under math. We have a language arts grammar assignment called Punctuation and Punctuation and Commas. And we have a science assignment called Earth Science. So it's your job to go into Canvas and look for those specific assignments, complete them. At the end of each of them, there's going to be a quiz. You're going to do that, and then you're going to report those scores back to me in an email. If you want, you can just hit reply on this email and send me your scores, or you can start a new email from me. Just make sure that when you email me your scores, you don't just say, hey Tanya, I finished math. You need to say, Tanya, I finished the Introduction to Fractions quiz, and this is the score I got on it. So let's say that I sent you this grouping of assignments. When you log into Canvas, after you get your assignment, it's going to look a little different. It's going to look like this. Before, when you logged in, you only saw orientation listed as your course, but now you'll have a lot of different courses that you are part of. They look, they're just little squares. They look a little bit like apps. The first course that you're always going to look at anytime you log in is called Classroom News. You can see it's right here. It's called Mo Learns Homeroom Classroom News. Whenever you log into Canvas, I always want you to go to that course first and look at it, because within that course, I'm going to post anything that's important, that is current or happening now. If there's any announcements, I'm going to post it in the announcements section. When you click on that course, you'll see something that says announcements. Always click on that and check to see if there's anything new that you need to learn or that you need to listen to. There's also important dates in our classroom homeroom. It tells us the dates when we have vacation time. We do have some vacation time coming up soon, so you may be interested in looking at that. When there's vacation dates listed, that means that both you and the teachers have time off during that time. Once you're done looking at the homeroom, you can go ahead and get started on the homework that I gave you to do. So in that last assignment that I gave you, remember I gave you a math assignment, a grammar assignment, and a science assignment. So if you were coming here, you would next click on the math course to start that math assignment. Once in the math assignment, when you find Introduction to Fractions, and I do want to just go back here a minute. When you look under modules in math, that's where you're going to find all your assignments. It's going to list every single math assignment that we have. Now, you're not going to be doing every single math assignment. You're only going to be doing those that I specifically ask you to do in an email. So make sure you find specifically what I asked you to do. Here I asked you to do Introduction to Fractions, so you would go there and you would start working through the worksheets. As you go through each worksheet, there's going to be a little green check that appears once you've finished that worksheet, once you've read through it and clicked on next. So this is a way that you can keep track of the work you're doing. Let's say on Tuesday you get in and you have time to do 2 of the worksheets and you have to stop there. Log out of Canvas. The reason I say always log out of Canvas is because the only way that you're going to get the updates that we put into Canvas is if you log out and back in each time you work. So make sure you're doing that. So you logged out, you go about your day. Maybe Thursday's the next day you're going to work. When you log back in, you'll be able to see 2 green checks that you did worksheet 1 and worksheet 2 already. So you'll know where to start next time. You're starting with worksheet 3. And again, as you're going through these worksheets, please be taking notes. Make sure you have some notebooks, pencils handy, a calculator handy whenever you're doing your work. Go through the worksheets, take notes. As you're going through the worksheets, you're going to see practice problems just like these here. Make sure you're doing all those practice problems directly in your notebook because you want to be able to go back and reference them, look at them. You're going to click where it says click here for the answers to grade your own practice problems on your own. Again, you're not going to be doing those on the computer. You're actually going to be doing those in your notebook so that you can look back at them. So let's say you've got through all the worksheets for introductions, you've got through all the practice problems. Then the last thing that you're going to come to is a quiz, Intro to Fractions quiz. This is the thing that you're going to be reporting to me in that email. This is super important. It's how we assess that you understood the unit that you just worked through. One of the things I want you to know about the quizzes is you can't stop in the middle of a quiz and save your work. So make sure you give yourself at least 30 minutes before you even click on that quiz to begin it. Once you click on it, the time has started and you need to get to it. Finish the quiz. Submit the quiz. Once you've submitted it, it's going to give the option to you to look over your work. I do highly recommend that you always look over your work, see which ones you got right, see which ones you had trouble with, and see if you can try to figure them out. The quizzes are all worth 20 points. There's 20 problems for each quiz. If you score a 16 out of 20 or above, then you can move on to your next assignment. So let's say you take Intro to Fractions quiz and you score 18 out of 20. You're done with that section, and then you can go back and say, okay, Tanya had me do a math assignment, she had me do a grammar assignment, so then it would be time for you to move on to the grammar course and do that assignment within the grammar course. Now, if you don't score a 16 out of 20 or above, let's say you have a little trouble, and that can definitely happen. Let's say you score a 12 out of 20 on it. That means that I want you to stop for that day, maybe give yourself a couple hours, or maybe wait till next time you're going to study again. Review the materials from your notes, review some of the practice problems, and then take that same quiz again. So you would take Intro to Fractions quiz again. You could take each quiz 2 times. For any quiz in all of Canvas, we have it set up that you can go in and take that quiz 2 times. Now, specifically on the math quizzes, you can take, there's a quiz 1 and there's a quiz 2. So there's 2 different quizzes for each math section. Introduction to Fractions quiz, and then Introduction to Fractions quiz 2. So if you do poorly on the first math quiz, you can do the second math quiz. But for all the other subjects that we have, like reading, grammar, writing, science, social studies, you can take each quiz 2 times. There's not 2 quizzes, 2 different quizzes, but you can take each quiz 2 times. Once you complete all the assignments that I gave you, so if you had completed that math, grammar, and reading assignment that I gave you, you would then go to your email, hit reply on that assignment email that I sent you, or start a new email, and you're going to report your scores to me. So this is just an example of what a student might be reporting to me. This particular student took Intro to Fraction quiz 1, and they scored a 12 out of 20 on it the first time and a 17 out of 20 on it the second time. They decided they wanted more practice, and they did Introduction to Fractions quiz 2, and they got a 20 out of 20 on it. Then they took colons and semicolons quiz, and they scored a 19 out of 20 on it the first time. And this is just an example. Maybe I only gave this particular student those 2 assignments for the week to do, and this is how they would be reported to me in an email. When you send me your report of how you did in an email, I'm going to look over your work, and then I'm going to send you a new assignment at that time. So this is one of the ways where you can get in more than 5 hours a week. Let's say you finish this all in one day, you send me your work, I reply within 24 hours and send you a new assignment. So within 24 hours, you can start a new assignment and possibly do more than 5 hours of work in a given week. That doesn't mean you have to do it that way. You can take an entire week to do any assignment that I give you. Okay, this slide basically says what I just said, that anytime I receive scores from you, I'm going to send you a new assignment. I do advise you to keep those assignment emails, maybe print them, don't delete them, and follow the instructions step by step. I want to chat a little bit more with you about email, because that's the primary way that you and I are going to be communicating with each other. It's so very important that you read the emails that I send you thoroughly. Make sure you're understanding what I'm asking you to do. Even if you're not going to work on a certain day, check your email daily. There may be something there that I have sent you that I would like you to reply to. I don't mind if you check your email briefly on your phone, but really when you're ready to sit down and do work, I want you to open your emails on your desktop or on your laptop. And the reason I say that is because sometimes when we open emails on our phones, the entire email doesn't come through and you lose them easily. And I'm saying this from experience with other students. So I do highly recommend that you're looking at my emails on your desktop or laptop and you're replying to my emails directly there. If you send me an email, always include your first and last name in every email that you send me. And if you're replying to a message where I asked you a question, make sure I can see that original question in your reply. Also, get in the habit of checking your junk or spam files. Sometimes things I send you have attachments or they're large files. So even if you have me as a friend in your email, you have my email address listed that your email can accept it. Sometimes my things still will go to your junk or spam file. So again, check that. These are the two emails that could possibly be for me. The main one I use is the one that says tlanger@parkwayschools.net. But when I send emails through Canvas, it comes from notifications@instructure.com. So just note that those two are both from me, your teacher. Okay, we talked about communication is important, that email communication. If you can't get an assignment done in 1 week, still email me, let me know what's going on, and we will come up with a solution. Finish your weekly assignments every week. And last, I want to talk to you about post-testing. After you've worked so many hours in our program, I am going to ask you to go back and test again. Remember, you took tests before you started this course. You took tests in reading, math, and language. I'm going to ask you to go back and test again so that we can see the progress that you're making from being enrolled in MoLearns. That's super important for both me as your teacher to see your progress and for you to see your progress. We want to evaluate how this program is working for you. We want to make any corrections that we need to make or any adjustments that we need to make when we compare your test scores. This is what a testing ticket looks like. When I send you an email that says you need to test again, you will set up that testing, then you will email me and let me know when you're going to be testing, and I will send you this testing ticket. It looks something like this. You can bring it in with you on your phone, or you can print it. You can write the information down on a piece of paper, but you do need to have this when you go into test. The places where you test don't have this information. They need to get it from you, and you need to get it from me. And then once you're done testing, make sure you send me an email and let me know that you've finished your testing. So the take-home message really is we need to be in constant communication about what's going on, what assignments you're doing, if you're testing, when you're going to be testing, when you're done testing, all those kind of things. This is the end of the recorded part of the meet and greet. So now the next thing you're going to be doing is you're going to be attending a live meet and greet, which will be basically a question and answer session with me. So if you have any questions after listening to this recording, jot them down so that you can ask them to me. Or if you've had any questions come up as you were doing orientation, jot them down so that we can discuss them. We'll just have a brief time together where I'll talk to you about a couple things, and then we can also have a question and answer session. The live meet and greet will only take probably between 10 and 15 minutes, and hopefully you can do that very soon. Have a great rest of the day. Take care.